Well, thank you guys, everyone, for coming out. I know as a team, we are all very excited for everyone to see all of our work. Um, so, welcome to Stargrove and welcome to our attraction, 18 Bradbury Lane, Glimforb's Escape. Also, can you guys see the little box of people or no? Is that good? Like, is it blocking anything?
No, it's perfect.
All right, just gonna keep moving forward with it. So a little bit about our team. My name is Ali Rocha. I am a senior at Virginia Tech, double majoring in industrial systems engineering and theater arts. And this is the rest of our team, consisting of Josh Arts from Virginia Tech, Dominic Civitano from Purdue University, Carla Baltazar from San Diego State University, and Corbin Carlson from Notre Dame. So what is our attraction? So our attraction basically consists of the Gladdens. The Gladdens are your typical alien family just living their normal lives in Stargrove. When you come up to their house in Stargrove, you just can notice a few things that are a little bit off about it. There seems to be some bite marks taken out of plants, some muddy footprints are wandered about, and you can kind of start to wonder, what happened here? They invite you into their home, and you basically find out the main plot point of this thing, that their pet Glimforb escaped. And that kind of leads to the question, what is Glimforb? What is a Glimforb? And they kind of introduce you to Glimforb, which is this lovable alien creature here. And this sets you off on this chase to follow Glimforb throughout this whole attraction, introducing you to a lovable cast of characters that basically introduces you to the whole wacky cast of characters. And can you help them find them? So first, introducing you guys to the Gladdens. So like we said, the Gladdens are your typical alien family. So we have Glurman, who's their father, Glinthia, who's their loving mother, Glacy, who's the oldest child, Glabagal, who's their middle child, and she's the closest one to Glimforb. So she has a special connection, and she's the one who kind of sets you off on that driving force to go find Glimforb. And Todd, who's the little oddball child who always seems to be getting into trouble alongside Glimforb. And of course, the star of the show himself, Glimforb. Something special about Glimforb is that the longer he's out of his cage, the bigger he seems to grow. So that kind of puts a stress of urgency throughout this whole thing. So you have to kind of put a little time limit on yourself to make sure that the longer that you're throughout this attraction, you have to make sure you can find them as quick as possible.
For our attraction, we decided to implement a virtual queue utilizing the park app. Guests will be able to choose a time frame their group wishes to ride through the app and then enter into the virtual queue space through the entrance area found in the bottom right-hand corner. After getting checked in, guests will be able to roam freely in the queue space until they get called. We chose to design this as a garden area in the Gladdens' front yard. The area will be filled with multiple walkways shaded by trees, along with benches and a gazebo sitting area. There will also be a large pond with water features for people to watch while they wait. We had the intention of designing this after a horticultural garden with labels for all the exotic plants that are common to be found on this planet that will be floating around in the queue space. Upon being notified through the app that it is time to ride, guests can make their way to the check-in area and get into a small queue section before entering the house. Here, guests can see multiple signs showing that something has been through the area, including a broken fountain and flower beds that have clearly gotten into.
This is the main facade of the Gladdens' house. It is aquatic themed because the Gladdens themselves have tentacles, which suggests that they are aquatic aliens. The color scheme is cool blue, which alludes to the idea of water. And then the roof itself has a squiggle detail, which also suggests a wave, as well as alludes back to the tentacle features that the Gladdens themselves have.
The first room guests encounter in the Gladden's house is the entrance hallway that is being used as pre-grouping for parties before they enter into the actual pre-show room. Party sizes will be organized into 25 to 30 people. After the doors open, guests can then enter the Gladden's kitchen where they will be behind an island countertop and see a set behind it with the characters of the Gladden family being holographically projected onto this set. Guests meet the family and then get informed by Glabigail that Glimforb has escaped from his cage. Glurman and Glinthea then explain how it is imperative for guests to help find Glimforb, as the longer he is out of his cage, the larger he continues to grow. Guests are then directed to start looking for him in the living room, which is the next room over. Throughout all the rooms of the attraction, there will be various effects guests can see of Glimforb wreaking havoc. In the living room, there will be projections showing a silhouette of Glimforb running around areas behind the furniture. On the walls, there will be framed family photos that will actually be screened so they can appear to be getting shattered by Glimforb. There will also be a piano centerpiece that will appear as if Glimforb has gotten inside of it, running along the strings to play different notes and knocking the lid up and down. Sound effects will be played over a room-wide speaker. Guests will then leave the living room and head into a hallway that leads to Glabigail's room. Within this room, there will be a pile of toys Glimforb is hiding under and knocks over a few when he gets disturbed by all the guests. He then moves to a large dollhouse where guests can see his eyes poking out of the windows. He then makes his way into a dresser where there is an effect that makes it appear that he is opening and closing the dresser drawers and pokes his head out of them. Guests then leave Glabigail's room and head out into the yard.
After Glimforb goes into the yard, he then goes into another home. He goes into visiting his neighbors who are not especially fond of him. These are the Meristems. They are an old couple. They are essentially retired scientists from Gate. They're pretty quiet. They're calm. They have their own pet, Fowl. And because they don't really like a lot of trouble, when Glimforb goes in, they're not very happy. Neither is Fowl. So as soon as Glimforb goes in, it's a cat and mouse chase against its will.
So the bottom left shows the image of the Meristem's house. It goes with the theming of aliens, and the shape of it looks like two leaves. On the right-hand portion, there's the first two rooms of the house, and they are based on kind of an interior format. The left hand is a greenhouse, and it's more of like a sunny area where people can just hang out during the day. And when you're between the two houses, there's kind of an outdoor space. So you walk on a concrete walkway with some turf, and the ceiling itself will simulate either day or nighttime.
Apologies for the audio issues. Hang on 1 second. There we go. Sorry, it seemed I was having audio technical. So once Glimforb has entered the Meristem's home, you will follow him through their front yard into the dining room. And as you go into the dining room, you'll notice that the dining room to cause chaos. It appears we're having technical difficulties. Is everyone muted who isn't presenting? It sounds like we're having a bit of an echo.
Yes, everyone is muted who isn't presenting. Are you getting technical issues when I speak as well?
No, you're good. Huh, this is weird. Like the last slide or so, we've been having technical issues, but now I don't hear anything. I guess
Yeah,
whoever it was.
You're
Hmm?
good right now too, Dominic. So that's
We're good?
that's-
Okay. Sorry. Apologies for ruining the momentum.
You're
So,
good.
so he'll make his way into the dining room, where you'll see him start to shake some of the chairs and move the tablecloth. He will also be scurrying his way under the tablecloth, and, shaking some of the platters that are on the table, which we're going to have some magnets do some of the shaking. And then once he makes his way out of the dining room, as you mentioned earlier, the Meristoms are a retired science couple. So you'll go into their science lab and bottles of chemicals as he changes colors, going into these different chemicals that are all color coded. And then finally, he'll knock over one of the beakers into a larger beaker, which will show a screen that has a little cutscene on it. And once those two chemicals mix together, it creates a soapy explosion that will shower the guests with bubbles. So then Glimforb will make his way out of there and into the greenhouse. Then once he makes his way into the greenhouse, you'll go through, as most greenhouses have, sort of a wall of mist to sort of keep the humidity up. So go through a wall of mist, hopefully will remove some of that soapy debris off of the guests. And once you make your way into the greenhouse, as we said before, these are plant tables. This is essentially their living room. So it'll have a bunch of other plants and, sort of decor. And Glimforb will then ensue in a cat and dog commentary chase between himself and the Marison's pet, which, as we said before, they don't really like each other. So they'll sort of be scurrying about the oh, my audio's going in and out. Uh-oh. Is that better?
Yes.
It's doing
It's
the
relatively inconsistent. Sorry, everybody, for the technical difficulties. I'm getting the same.
Yeah, it's happening with you, Taylor. I hate to do this to y'all, but Alec, can you close the presentation real quick, please? Okay, can you guys hear me loud and clear now?
Yeah, Sochi, you're fine.
Okay, that's really weird. Okay,
Try resharing the presentation, maybe without audio sharing.
You maybe try that. Sorry for all the technical difficulties, guys. I know it's.
I'm wondering if it was like leftover feedback from when you played that recording.
Could have been, perhaps.
Share the
I
presentation.
noticed it started to come up once Carla had started talking about the Meristoms is when it started to rock off the rails. I just thought it was general technical difficulties. All right, does that sound better for everybody?
That is so much better.
Awesome, perfect. I knew we'd get through it eventually. So where did I lose you? Was it the greenhouse? Let's go from the greenhouse. So you go into the greenhouse, which, as I said before, we have a nice layer of mist, which hopefully will get rid of some of the bubbly debris that will be on top of you after that soapy explosion. You'll go through the greenhouse, and since they are plant-based people, this is essentially their living room. Walk straight in, and there'll be a bunch of plants and decor, and you'll see the Meristoms in their rocking chair. But then, being that the Meristoms have their own pet, Glimforb and the Meristoms' pet will engage in sort of a Tom and Jerry-esque cat and mouse chase through the greenhouse. So you'll sort of follow them outside of the greenhouse into the yard, and you will meet the last wacky character in the neighborhood, who's personally my favorite.
So this is the other neighbor. This is Cosmic Commando Bontes. He is single. He is, the design is vaguely based on a bird. He's a small guy with big personality. He's about 6 feet tall total, but half of that height is just the headpiece. He is one that, unlike the Meristoms, he's actually very happy when he sees Glimforb. He's very fond of him. So when Glimforb goes into his house, he is just absolutely elated.
This is the facade for Cosmic Commando Vontez's house. We decided to continue with the bird theming and make it look like an egg. So the rounded shape and the neutral color palette add to this idea. Additionally, the slanted lines that partition the middle and the kind of cream color for the middle section makes it look like the egg has cracked open and you are entering into the egg.
So in the final house that you'll visit along your journey, you'll go into the master bedroom. You'll continue to see Glimforb causing a bit of chaos, knocking books off of bookshelves. Then you'll make your way into the master closet. And as we said before, Vontez is a man of a very eccentric taste. He has a lot of headpieces, a lot of capes. So you'll go into this all-out master closet where he has this sort of rotating carousel of headdresses, which Glimforb will somehow have gotten himself on top of and will be riding as if it in itself is a theme park attraction, which I always think is fun. So you'll follow through the master closet into the parlor room where you'll come to find that perhaps this love for Glimforb is more of an obsession than a love, as Vontez has lots of different Glimforb-esque paraphernalia with, sort of Glimforb tiki masks that sort of look like rabbits, and different paintings, which I sort of drew one up here, such as Glimforb crossing the Delaware. So you'll see a bunch of wacky drawings and artwork and different paraphernalia for Glimforb, and you will make your way outside of Vontez's house into the yard and back into the Gladden's home for the finale, which, go to the next slide, which will go through the yard. You'll start to see some larger footprints. You'll be like, is Bigfoot a foot? Oh, wait, don't forget, the longer Glimforb's out of the cage, the bigger he gets. So he's left these big muddy footprints all across Vontez's lovely yard. And you'll make your way into the kitchen where there'll be a pre-recorded pre-show on the screen. The good news is Galapagos quickly runs and catches Glimforb in his cage. He shrinks down to normal size. The Gladdens thank you for helping them on this journey to help find Glimforb and stop his reign of chaos throughout the neighborhood. You walk in the garage, which conveniently is a gift shop. And that's the end of our attraction as you make your way back into the park to enjoy another fun-filled attraction. And we have a large layout that we'll show you, which is sort of the pan out of this whole attraction in one shot here. Oh, look at that. So nice. We have the nice cute space and the whole show building right in one picture. And that's the end of our presentation. Allie just has a few thank yous she wants to get out of the way. So take it away, Allie.
Yeah, so we want to give just a big thank you to our mentor Finnegan and our land manager Taylor for answering all of my late night texts all the time. And obviously to our project director, Sochi Mike, for putting this whole thing together. And just to everyone, especially also for bearing with us in all of our technical difficulties. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, thank you to all of our family and friends as well. We all love you guys so much. Thank you, everyone.